Georgia Employers for Immigration Reform was recently formed and immediately launched a campaign to get Georgia Senators Saxby, Chambliss, and Johnny Isakson to support the immigration reform bill currently under consideration in the Senate. While called immigration reform, this bill is really an amnesty that gives criminals a pass after flaunting American law and violating its security. Georgia Employers for Immigration Reform is so new, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution reports, that the group isn't ready to publish its entire list of members. But spokesman Wayne Lord says Georgia Employers for Immigration Reform represents a major slice of the state's payroll. It is also so new it has no logo to display here. Wayne Lord is also Vice President of Government Relations for Pilgrim's Pride, a poultry, farming, and slaughtering company based in Pittsburgh, Texas. The AJC continues, Lord says his group has 3 priorities: border security, a workable verification program to ascertain the work status of employees, and a flow of temporary workers when the economy demands it. The reality is, Georgia Employers for Immigration Reform has no interest in border security, or it would not support this bill. Every day, thousands of illegal aliens cross the southern border of the United States. More than 20 years after the 1986 amnesty signed by President Ronald Reagan, after assurances were given that the border would be secured. Mexico has a long history of corruption dating back before Antonio López de Santa Anna, the Mexican president who ended the United Mexican States and its 1821 constitution. He centralized power in Mexico City, then fought disastrous wars against a revolting Texas and later the United States. To be fair to Santa Anna, he successfully subdued revolutions in other Mexican states after Texas declared its independence. Mexico has continued to be a nation defined by corruption and lack of innovation. It is this lack of initiative that has caused so many to leave Mexico for a better life in the United States. Unfortunately, most Mexicans displaced by this economic and political insecurity quickly discovered that the border with the United States was little more than a line on a map. Few opted to utilize legal processes and instead crossed the border in violation of the law. Now, instead of dealing with the problems associated with being a Mexican citizen, they were free to live and work in American businesses, so long as no one questioned their status. Thousands of Mexicans, Nicaraguans, Peruvians, and others who lived in Central and South America, displaced by political and economic upheaval, cross this border every day. In addition, Islamic militants have been found with Venezuelan documents, both in the United States and elsewhere. And why shouldn't we believe that Hugo Chávez's government has something to do with these militants? After all, the Venezuelan military has been linked to the training of FARC terrorists in Colombia, and Chávez has publicly stated his opposition to U.S. policy on several occasions, most notably in front of the United Nations General Assembly in New York City. As American citizens begin to question why we should allow so many illegal aliens to live inside our borders and possibly cover the comings and goings of terrorists, the illegal aliens have, suddenly, become militant. Many are already members of criminal gangs, while others openly advocate taking over large swaths of U.S. territory. They call it the Reconquista, or the Reconquest. The stated goal of the groups involved varies, but the 2 most common themes are to set up a new nation or to rejoin land ceded to the United States following the Mexican War in 1848. Remember that in 1848 these lands were largely uninhabited except by Native American tribes who still live there, and that the United States paid Mexico for these lands following the war. Wayne Lord has expressed his support for an immigration reform bill that reforms little and punishes no one. In doing so, it has connected Pilgrim's Pride to the problem, not the solution. It is time to tell businesses that hire and support illegal labor and the continuous violation of our southern borders that enough is enough. To that end, I urge everyone hearing this to stop purchasing products made by Pilgrim's Pride. Encourage your local grocer and deli to stop carrying their products. These products include Pilgrim's Pride chicken and turkey products, Eggs Plus, and Eat Well Stay Healthy products. The company also owns the Gold Kiss brand. Stand up for the rule of law and the security of our nation. Stand up to corrupt businessmen who care more about the bottom line of their company than our national security. Send Wayne Lord and the Georgia Employers for Immigration Reform a message. You are not above the law.